Let me take a minute and talk about the exhaust. As you saw in the earlier episode, I got a new catalytic converter for it. And I was debating on what to do with the exhaust system and found a company called Northwestern Exhaust. You can find them if you Google, or they're also on Amazon, which is where I bought this. And this is a stainless steel 2¼ inch system, stainless steel muffler. And you can kind of see here what it looks like. And of course, you know, Northwestern Exhaust, one would think, yeah, maybe it's made in USA. Oh no. No, this is made in the People's Republic of we don't give a shit if it fits or not. And this one doesn't. There's a lot of problems with this. It comes very close to and or rests against the rear sway bar, depending on how you have it arranged. This hanger was not installed or bent properly, and I tried to straighten it and it cracked and broke. So that's useless. I wound up cutting it off. And then at the back, we've got this mysterious hanger, which doesn't work at all with the factory arrangement. And then the tailpipe is bent on this very strange angle. And maybe on a stock Jeep it would fit okay, but this has a lift kit, and so these shackles are extended, and it runs into the shackles. Now I think I'm going to be able to have it over far enough once I get the hangers on that may not be a problem, but most likely I'm going to wind up cutting it off back in here close to the hanger and running a pipe that comes out straight instead of this peculiar angled thing that they've made. Now the upside is it was only, I think, about 149 bucks. And it is stainless steel. And since this thing's going to sit outside and not get used a whole lot, I thought a stainless system would be a good idea. But this is turning into another project unto itself, which honestly I'm not terribly surprised. And some of the reviews on Amazon led you to know that this tailpipe in particular is not that great. But I'm going to work on that and see if I can get that to fit somewhat better. And I'll show you what I wind up with once I'm done. Okay, here's what I did with the exhaust. I cut the tailpipe off right behind the hanger because this is curved when it's on the car. So it comes out to the outside, which fouls on the shackle on this one because it has extended shackles. So this is how we wound up hanging this thing. So we got the cat, we got the muffler, then we go to this junction here. I cut that hanger off, and I was able to use the original bolts to mount this hanger, a universal hanger. That holds it really nice. And then we come back and I have another hanger utilizing this back bolt here for my trailer hitch mount, which I'm going to have to reconfigure once I put the hitch back on, but we'll worry about that later. And then that attaches here and also clamps the extension pipe, which I bought, that will get the tailpipe all the way out to the exterior of the body. So that's how that's looking. Now that hanger clamp is a little janky looking, I won't lie, but I don't care. So if it bothers you, you can engineer something different. But I don't see any way to use the hanger that's mounted on the tailpipe, especially with the tailpipe being at the wrong angle for this car. Now, if you have standard shackles on, you may not run into that like I did. So that's what I did with that. And then I had this cheapy stainless muffler tip just sitting around from another car, and it fit, so I stuck that on. So there it is, to add a little something. I mean, that angle doesn't look very good, but if you look here, it's fine. Actually, it looks kind of cool. So there you go. That's how you make the $165 stainless Amazon exhaust system work on your Cherokee XJ. At least that's what I had to do. So it does require some engineering, but it's got a stainless pipe now that hopefully will never rust. It's got a stainless muffler that will hopefully never rust. This little tailpipe extension here rusts and falls off. Who cares? It's just a couple inches of pipe. Go to the auto parts store and get another one. I think we're good. Well, upon further reflection with the exhaust tip, I decided to nix that. I didn't like the way it looked like it was sticking out, and also it was on with a way that the retaining brackets were sticking way out the sides, and it looked kind of dumb from the back. So tips removed, simple pipe, not going to worry about it. Well, final body work continues. This is the driver's side, and just put a couple little spots in there to fill some pinholes and some low spots, and we'll finish this one off. We should have this in primer, I think, after the next sanding. And pretty much the same thing over here on the right side. Just had to fill in a few low spots and a couple boo-boos and a light sanding there, and we will be able to prime this. Of course, this is going to be below the molding line. Nobody's going to see it anyway, but still trying to do the best job possible. One of the disappointments of this Jeep is this hood. So at some point in this vehicle's history, it got wrecked in the front, and I'm pretty sure that this hood was replaced, and it was replaced with an aftermarket hood. And the reason I say that is because of all these spots here that the previous owner had doctored up and kind of covered with some goop or body filler and some primer, but it didn't really do anything. And after looking at the hood, I've realized that these are rust spots, and they came from the inside of the hood, the underside, because it's underneath the bracing. And apparently where this is happening, there's no paint or any kind of protective film underneath. So these aftermarket hoods are not prepared the same as the factory ones. Ooh, surprise, right? This has been kind of a bone of contention in the insurance auto repair business for years, and generally the sheet metal stuff is, a lot of times. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. I mean, this hood looks good, it fits pretty decent, but the lack of rust prevention on the underside has caused a real problem. I mean, this is going to continue to just pop out and be an issue going forward. But for the purposes of just getting this thing cosmetically acceptable for now, I'm just going to fix these very ghetto style. I went down and cleaned as much of the original filler out as I could. I treated the rust spots, ground everything out, wire wheeled it, did as much as I could there, then treated it with a rust stopping chemical. And then now we're doing the body filler, and we'll prime and paint this hood and try to make it look decent. But ultimately what I want to do is find another hood for this thing, preferably in this color, so I don't have to really paint it. But we're going to spray can paint this hood along with the quarter panels, and I'll show you that product when we get to that point. And hopefully it comes out pretty decent. I'm not too worried about color match on this hood, honestly, because it doesn't match the cowl already. As you can kind of see here, maybe in the lighting, that cowl's way lighter than the rest of the Jeep. So, hey, it's a daily driver. It's not going to be winning any shows. We're not really worried about it. But the hood, when you look through the windshield, that's the thing you're staring at all the time. So you want this to at least be decent looking. So that's all I'm shooting for with this. We'll see how this turns out. It may be better. It probably won't be worse. Or it may just be the same. We'll see. Well, these door moldings were coming loose at the ends, and when that happens, they can get caught in the door, and then they get bent and damaged, and then they're junk. So I decided to take them off. I was going to retape them, but after removing them and all the tape residue, I kind of like how it looks without the moldings there. So I think we're going to run without. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. And at long last, we've reached the primer stage. Almost done. Glad when this is over. Again, not my favorite part of vehicle repair and restoration. Well, here's the right side finished. And you can kind of tell the color doesn't match completely. It's actually a lot lighter. But this is all below the bumper line. So we don't care, because nobody's ever going to see it. This is the side that's going to matter, and it is lighter than the original by a bit. It's a bit of a shade. I'm kind of surprised it's lighter. I would have thought it might be darker, but it may have more metallic in it than what the original paint had. That could be causing that. Ultimately, don't care. It's an $800 Jeep, and it's basically the same color as what it's supposed to be, so I'm good with it. There's no rust. There's no plastic filler falling out. It's still a win, even if you might see it from across the parking lot. But I'm good with it. And here's the spots on the hood that I just blew some paint on and then cleared. I don't pretend that these are anywhere near a good job. It was just a matter of getting this hood to be all one color is really the whole purpose. I mean, you can clearly see the blemishes still in there. But the whole purpose of this, like I said, is just to make it all one color and hopefully look good in the photos I'm going to take for the collector car plates that I hope to get for this thing, so I don't have to pay annual plate and inspection fees. Alright, got a new bracket at the junkyard along with the cover for the fuel lines under there. But now we have another problem during reassembly, and that is the fender flare. I mistakenly thought you could just pick the thing off and then snap it back on again. Oh no, you have to remove the metal brackets, clip them into the flare first, or at least loosen the metal brackets, clip the flare in, and then tighten the metal brackets up. The problem with that, some of you are already laughing at me, is that every one of these studs will snap off. And they are basically a welded bolt on there. So now I gotta drill out or grind out every single one of those stupid things and then put bolts in. And I don't know if I should weld the heads to the bracket, if that'll work, or what. I thought about using rivets, actually, like I did on the extension brackets. That's the way the factory did it. But the holes in the quarter panel are really big. I mean, you have to use like 1/4 inch or maybe even bigger rivets. I'm not sure. They're not anywhere near that size. They're much larger. So yeah, now I got to figure out what to do about that. Fun times. All right, we're going to call it quits for this episode. I don't want it to get too long. And we'll battle with these fender flares, brackets, things, stupid old rusty parts. And then once we have that figured out, we'll continue on. But that'll do it for this segment. Subscribe, check back, hit the bell thing, whatever you want to do, and we'll keep hacking away at this thing. But looks much improved. Pretty happy with it. See you next week.